It's Daybreak here on Arise News, and it's time for the press preview. Let's take a look at this day newspaper, our sister publication. Its leading story: Northern governors Gumi condemn murder of Deborah, appeal for calm. Let's take two riders there. Anyone who kills Christian will not see paradise. That's coming from an Islamic scholar. And the Northern States chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria urge boycott of Interreligious Council. One of the leading photos on this day newspaper, with the caption "On a Pilgrim to the Hilltop," features the PDP presidential aspirant's Chief Dele Momodu spending time with former President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida in Minna as part of his consultation on his presidential ambition.
Interesting. The Punch. Let's look at the Punch. On its headline, it has "Blasphemy Killing. Our children won't attend school again," says Deborah's parents. Can to petition UN and US. Deborah's parents says the government has not contacted them. Northern can ask parents to stop sending children to Sokoto schools. Nigeria, not an Islamic country. That is coming from Gumi, who is warning Muslims against killings. NDLEA busts drug cartels, fake employment syndicate, and Amechi Talon. Others may resign today. Let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper this morning. Its leading headline there: Deborah, Northern governors condemn killing and call for calm. If you're wondering what that photo is there on the front of the Guardian newspaper, it's a section of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos without street lights yesterday, and it's remained so in the last 2 months. And just above that, Buhari Malami head to Supreme Court, sue National Assembly over Section 8412. Which the court said is unconstitutional in that ruling in Omoya. All right, Atiku, the nation. Atiku Wike Saraki Ava's battle for 3,700 delegates. This is a far cry from APC number of delegates. And of course, just like Nkechi read out there earlier on, Buhari Malami asked Supreme Court to void Electoral Act Section 8412. Just at the top, Master, what kind of told me about Southeast killings? This is coming from Governor Soludo. And of course, earlier we read that nobody has contacted us, coming from slain Deborah's dad. Let's move on to some international papers. The Daily Mail, featuring the Queen of England. The caption: radiant, happy, and simply glorious. The Queen lifted the nation's spirit as she attended the first of her national Platinum Jubilee celebrations. Right, Financial Times: Sweden and Finland to herald new era with NATO applications. And I think it's time we bring in Emmanuel Bello for the press preview this morning. Emmanuel, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at the biggest story coming out of Nigeria this morning. It's on the front cover of almost all the dailies. This day says Northern governors Gumi condemn murder of Deborah and appeal for calm. But what's interesting, the Punch newspaper is leading with what Deborah's parents are saying. Now they're saying their children will not attend school again. I mean, their daughter was murdered in the school premises. So clearly this is showing that children, adults, students basically are not even safe in the schools. And also they're saying the government has not contacted them and her father had to go fetch her body himself. What are your thoughts?
Good morning, Nkechi. Yes, the story from Punch humanizes the whole crisis, narrowing down to what the parents of the victim, the immediate owners of Deborah's murder, are talking about the fact that they've not been contacted and the fear they're expressing. But it's not their fear alone; it's the fear of almost all parents whose wards are in schools. around the country, wondering, and it's not just probably in the north, but wondering whether if your kids are far from you, if they're in school, they will not come back dead someday in body bags. So these are the kind of fears surrounding. Those are the kind of issues that this kind of things throw up, and it's a good thing that these days, and I think all the other people are reporting what Gumi is saying, because horrendously we saw Islamic clerics, some Islamic preachers, practically supporting what happened. And actually going back to the holy writs, to the Quran, to actually authenticate or to get some kind of approval from the Quran over those killings. But Gumi coming so strongly, and I think his voice is the strongest so far in the entire imbroglio. Coming out so strongly, saying that, look, and quoting from the same Quran, saying that, look, it's wrong. The religion hasn't, accepted or hasn't said that if you kill someone in the name of the Prophet, you've done well. And that's the heart of the matter, the interpretations, how some Muslims are interpreting those verses from the Quran. Throughout the weekend, it was battle royale, both on social media, elsewhere, as everybody tries to weigh in what the niceties, who say what and everything. And Gumi now coming out, and Gumi is such a respected voice in those cycles, he's seen as someone who's even negotiating with bandits. So when he talks or when he says anything, we should listen to it. And he's saying, no, it's not true. Even the Prophet in his lifetime was insulted and he didn't say anything. I'm sure it's going to be an ongoing conversation and ongoing debate. That's the religious side of it. But the one that concerns all of us is the humanity, the human angle to the whole story. The fact that taking human lives, killing anybody, sends the wrong signals all over the world. It doesn't matter what they've done. And that's why they say you don't take, we don't believe in jungle justice, don't take the law into your hand, because even killing has to be done properly, has to be done judiciously. You don't go extra miles to kill anyone. So those are the arguments, and it's a good thing that it's almost like a fresh breath this morning, listening to what Gumi is saying and saying that no, this is condemnable, and this doesn't have any approval from any of the prophets to kill in their names. Of course, what the government is doing is very important, and the parents coming to say, look, we've not been contacted. It's actually is zero for the government, especially a government that is talking. Another interesting thing, Kechi, you notice is the silence from some people who are not talking about this, running for presidential race, as if those votes are thicker than blood, like someone said in his column at the weekend. Say votes are thicker than blood, so they are being careful. Most people not ready to rile the anger or get anybody angry, and so they are keeping quiet. Of course, sadly for them, their silence is not even helping their case, because if they are seeking elections, they are not just seeking elections from Muslims. They are seeking elections, and then of course not even every Muslim agrees with this. A whole lot of very, very bold Muslims, Gumi one of them, the Sultan another one, coming out so strongly to say, look, this does not represent our religion, this is not who we are. Quite some have come out to Yusuf Suleiman, former transport minister that I interviewed yesterday, running for governorship in that state, Sokoto state, says that is unacceptable. Pella, a while ago on our TV here, also said it. I talked about what to do. One is when there's a problem. Two is how do you solve it so it doesn't reoccur. He talked about NOA. So what to do, Emmanuel, going forward? What to do?
Yes.
Not to even allow these things occur.
Yeah, and Indy, while that is important, what you just asked is very important, is that whether we like it or not, like someone was talking about the shootings yesterday in Buffalo at the weekend, and of course a recurrence of such shooting, that sometimes when you see those kind of tragedy, your fear is that, look, maybe the next one is actually being planned. So you're right, what to do. But we must start from the place of punishment, from punitive measures. When you do some arrests, people must know that some kind of justice have happened. We've not been seeing too much of that, and we've seen this kind of blasphemy killings and other kind of killings going on, but not too much of clear cuts show that someone has been punished, heads and be rolling. Of course, the other thing to do is to intensify what the interreligious bodies are trying to do. What even the religious clerics are trying to do, which is to give better interpretations to those sections of the Quran or where people get radicalized. Gumi has weighed in so strongly. A lot of that has to be done. Political leaders still have to play a serious role. And then generally, there must be leadership around this issue. So what to do going forward is that we need to see more punishment. We need to see people brought to the book. We need to see strong voices coming out. This presidential aspirant, why are they silent about this thing? We need to see strong voices coming out in the strongest time, using the strongest of words to condemn this, to say this should not happen. And of course, certain serious measures put in place to forestall this thing. So people must go beyond words, beyond platitude, and then let us see some action. Going forward, we need to be seeing some real, punishments and real serious action taken, so that people don't feel helpless, and then other people don't feel emboldened that, look, nothing will happen to us after all if we do what is wrong.
Emmanuel, even beyond punishments, we saw 2 people were arrested, and that caused quite a chaos in Sokoto State. People were destroying properties and buildings and just obstructing daily lives in the state, even after that arrest was made. And yes, you just spoke about voices being heard, Muslim clerics, presidential aspirants, political, just leaders speaking up. But beyond that, the people on the streets, the people that were causing that mayhem, the people that took part in killing Deborah are really the masses. So how does those words that the Islamic clerics and other people, the condemnation, the clarifying of those, the Quran, how does it reach the masses so that this does not happen? We need more awareness, even as we're talking about punishments, because most of them are not watching us right now as we're talking about this. Most of them are not reading the papers as we're talking about this. So how does this really get to the core? Because we're seeing kids being part of what was going on in Sokoto State.
Well, you can talk about the role of, parenting, the role of, but again, it's radicalization. It is understanding. The kid, for instance, who took a gun, went into a supermarket in the US and shot everybody, people, got ideas from somewhere. So we need to start getting to the root of this. What are people hearing? Who is talking to them? How are they getting radicalized? Who is saying what? Some of those preachers that, at the Deborah issue, coming out so strongly to say it was right. What do we do to such things? The governor of Kano State came out very strongly and said no protest from anybody on both sides. Such kind of strong action, that we weigh directly to the people. And please, Nkechi, we can't make light of punishment. We need to see, people need to be seen, because in the past, one of the things that you keep hearing again and again is that people get arrested and then we don't hear any story anymore. And this is not just in this case, but in all sorts of cases. You have a situation where you are not seeing clear-cut punishment. You don't see it has been done. Because justice must be done, not just to be done, but must be seen as done. And that's part of the problem, because when you don't see this thing done, people get emboldened. And then, of course, you and I get frustrated thinking that, well, it's not even working. If people get arrested and then they are freed, or they are arrested and then something happened, like in the case of the Sokoto example, there's the litmus test on Governor Tambuwal. If they have done some arrests, people need to be prosecuted, no matter what anyone is saying. Because even some Muslim clerics have said it's wrong. You don't take battles into your hands, and then you must face the authority. Many of them coming out so strongly, like in this, even on the network. So these are the kind of actions, these are the kind of things that we must do, because there must be some form of deterrent. The killers of Deborah must be seen as being punished. It has to be done, and it has to be done clearly, in a way that everybody will see it, in a way that it can be measured by us in this side of the divide. We can see it being done and we can report them. So this has to get down to the root of these matters. There must be some kind of justice and some closure coming to this. Of course, yes, you might say, well, we've done this in the past and we've seen the recurrence, but then we don't have to stop. It's society. We just have to keep doing the right thing to get the right outcomes.
That's true. You couldn't have put it better. And we couldn't agree with you less. Thank you so much. That's Emmanuel there, Bello.